Hello, Flosstube, and welcome to Coco the Creative. I'm Coco. Today is Friday, December the 19th, and this is Flosstube number 12. Before I begin, I would like to thank a fellow Flosstuber, Stitch to My Lou, for shouting me out on her channel. I do follow her, and I do like her channel. I like how I like the pieces that she selects and how a lot of her pieces end up becoming gifts for people. And I really wish I was at the point in my floss tube journey, um, or my stitching journey where I am giving a lot of gifts to people. I just like, and my mother-in-law is actually like that too. Like she is constantly cranking out um, little needle points to give to everybody else in the family. And I just feel like it takes me so long to do something, but I want to get there at that point. I want to get to the gift giving level. So thank you once again, Stitch to My Lou, for shouting me out. And you guys should go check her out. She has some great pieces. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about my progress, and then I'm just going to talk about books because I've met some major book goals. And I watched my last Flosstube number 11, and I just like to refresh myself on like, okay, what was I talking about? Blah, blah, blah. And I was actually amazed by how many books I had finished since I filmed that Flosstube. Okay, so the pieces that I have in rotation right now that I have not worked on are Strawberry Frogs and Titus Bubbles. So I'm not going to show them because I watched my last video, and yeah, I have made zero progress. Zero progress on those. But they're still in the rotation, and I brought them out recently, and I feel like I'm going to start working on them again, but I don't really have anything to show for them right now. Okay, and the reason being is because I have been working so much on the piece that I call Santa Pandas. Like, it's crazy, and I'm going to show that to you right now. So this is my stamped cross. Um, Here, I'm going to lower it this time. That's my journal that has all my notes in it. Okay, so lots of progress on this. I was actually really surprised by the amount that I showed last time, and I was like, oh, I've done so much since then. So I've gotten past the first Santa, and I finished the tree. I finished this section of the night sky because um, I'm not going past the 100 mark on the axis. So I don't really have to do any more night sky for now. That will be next time I pull this out, which will be in July of next year. I got this little lantern done. This lantern done down here, and some of the presents under Santa. Okay, so I have to be honest, I'm getting kind of tired of the stitch, but I don't want to put it away yet. I'm kind of itching to get back to my underwater tapestry because I feel like I found more efficient ways to stitch that allows me to move faster through the piece. But I'm not going to put it away just yet. I'm just going to slow down. I'm just not going to work on it every time I want to stitch. I'll probably just save it for maybe a little bit of stitchy time in the evenings. Because December's not over yet, I don't want to put this away until, and I foresaw myself working on this in January, but I just don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to work until December is over. So right next to this gift is another panda. I think I'm going to try to finish this panda motif. I started working on this one, but it's right at the 100 y-axis line, so I'm not going to go past that point like I did with the tree. I'm just going to cut that off right there. And yeah, I think after I finish this other panda, I think I'm going to stop. I might flesh out the bottom of these presents, but then I think I'm just going to stop. So yeah, that's Santa pandas. And I can't really go back that far, but I think that's just really good progress for the first like year cycle that I am working on this. And when I did Christmas in July, I did not do a bunch for Christmas in July. I started working on this in the last week of July. So I think that with a whole month of July, a whole month of November in 2026, and then a whole month of December, this is going to get really, really a lot of progress. I still don't think I'm going to finish it in the year of 2026, but it's a seasonal stitch, so I don't, that's okay. It's fine. It's just supposed to be that thing that I work on during the holidays. But I'm like really proud of myself. And this was like a nice break from underwater tapestry, but I can still stitch in that style. So yeah, very proud of myself for that. Okay, let me get my notes. And then the other cross stitch that I was working on that I made a little progress on was my ornamental eggs. It's been a while since I've shown you the progress on this, and this is based on this comes from a sampler that I got from Daily Pattern Post on Etsy. It's a great store if you're looking for like affordable monochrome samplers that have like lots of different styles and stuff. I highly recommend the store. I'm really surprised that I haven't seen other Flosstubers talk about it. But this is being stitched on, I believe this is a 16 count Ada in the color Luna Moth. And then the thread is a variegated floss called Dreary. It's like gray and blue. And both the fabric and the floss come from Be Stitch Me. And I plan to turn these eggs into Christmas ornaments. I've already completed one and a half, but I stopped working on the second one because I wasn't crazy about the pattern and I really wanted to work on this fabric. So I didn't have this fabric yet, but once this fabric came in, once this floss came in, I was like, okay, I want to continue my work on the eggs on this with this floss and with this fabric. Yeah, and this is a nice break from Santa Pandas because I still want to stitch festive things, but I don't want to start anything new. And Santa Pandas is it's a lot of fabric, and I always have to wear thimbles because it's 9 count and the needle is big and the fabric is thick. And you have to work with it in different things. So this is a nice break from that. It's super easy. And yeah, I'm probably going to work on it some more today. Okay, so that's all I have for Stitchy talk. And I'm going to talk about books, but I promise I'm not going to talk about them for too long. I'll try. I'll do my best. So, okay. I have completed my 2025 reading goals. Yay! I was really worried that I wasn't going to make it to 25 books. I thought I was going to be like 2 books shy, but I just started keeping the book that I really wanted to make progress on like by my bed and just trying to read a little bit every night, even if it was only just 1 page. And that really helped me just like get in the groove of reading consistently. And also I was like, okay, I just don't think I should take on any more prose. So the last few books that I read were all manga, which I don't feel bad about because I've read a lot of prose this year. And a lot of the books that I've read are like very long. They're like over 500 pages. Like, so it's fine that, I mix manga in with the prose, and I don't feel bad about that. But yeah, let me tell you about the books that I finished and then the books that I'm currently working on. So, A Court of Sugar and Spice by Rebecca F. Kenny. I think I was at 9% when I last talked about this. And after I finished like these other two books I was reading, I completely devoured A Court of Sugar and Spice. Like I was reading it every night. I was reading it when I wake up in the whenever I woke up in the middle of the night because still pregnant. I don't get like the best sleep, and instead of scrolling on my phone, I would just open up my Kindle app and just read a Court of Sugar and Spice. So I gave that one 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. I think I talked about it, like what it's about. It's a Nutcracker retelling. It's spicy. I guess you can put it in the romantasy category. Um, and yeah, I liked it a lot. And I will definitely read more books by this author, but I'm like completely romanced out right now. I've read several romances in a row, and I need, like, you'll see the books that I'm reading now. Um, they're not they have, some of them have romantic plots, but they're just not like romance forward because I just need a break now. But that was like the last really good like romance driven book that I read in 2025. Okay. I also completed Yona of the Dawn, volume 19. Um, this one was pretty good. It was another one where it focused on one of the dragon warriors that protects the main character. But I am actually really excited about this series again. I mean, I've always liked the series, but now I have like more excitement about it because I heard that the manga, I don't know, no, sorry, the anime is going to pick back up again, and it's been 10 years since this anime like paused. So now I feel like I can really enjoy the manga because I can relive the story through the anime because I know it's going to keep going. Because the way I was introduced to this whole story was through the anime, and when it just like cut off the way it did, I was like, "What? Why has it been so many years since it was um, since it came on TV?" And then I just started getting into the manga, and I was like, "Okay, it looks like the manga is fully developed, but I'm just going to read it slowly because I really like the story and I really want to enjoy the I want to enjoy it." But the and I just don't know if the anime is going to come back because that's unfortunately not uncommon in certain animes. Like they sometimes they just drop off and they just never come back. But it sounds like it's coming back, so I'm super excited about that. Okay, and I went ahead and like bought the next 3 volumes for my Kindle of Yona of the Dawn. I'm probably not going to start them anytime soon, but I just like to have them on my Kindle. Okay, and then I did DNF. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it anymore. I DNF'd Blood Moon by Brittany S. Lewis. And I'm just going to say that I don't think this was a bad book. I don't think it was poorly written or anything like that. I just think it wasn't for me. And my main problems with it was that um, it was boring and the exciting scenes were too spaced out. Like there was too much not or I shouldn't say the things that were happening in between the interactions between the paranormal characters was boring. I would just say that the way that they were written was not making me like it wasn't like occupying my brain while I waited for the paranormal stuff and the paranormal romance to actually happen again. And then I got to like a major um kind of like character interaction, like romantic interaction, and there were just there were just things about it that bother me. Like I really don't like it when the characters that are supposed to be like falling in love constantly tell each other that they hate them. I just don't like that. Like I hate you. I hate you, and then they start making out. Like I don't know. It just it feels it feels kind of like YA to me, but like I wouldn't read it. Like so but once again, I just don't think that that is like a bad thing. I just think that it's not my cup of tea. And I might pick this book back up later on. But as of now, I have DNF'd it. I've given myself the credit of having read it for my 2025 because I made it to page 153. And I I do allow myself to have a couple of DNF books on my completed um on my like for my reading goals. Like I think this will be one of three DNF books. And I think out of 25, that's not that bad. And I only add DNF books when I get to like past 100 pages or at least close to 100 pages. I don't like read like 20 pages of the book and then DNF it. I get into the meat of the book, and if it just really is driving me absolutely crazy, then I have to I have to DNF it, but I want to give myself credit for getting through a good chunk of the book. So, yeah, Blood Moon. Okay, I think I am going to try to read cuz this is like I think this is the author's first like foray into trad publishing, and before this she was an indie published author. So I kind of checked out her other books, and like the premise for her other books I think are more my speed. Like they're not about vampires and werewolves. It has more like a psych thriller vibe, and I think it's more I would enjoy it more. And also with trad publishing, you have editors and literary agents that have a lot more control over how the story is told. And I think I want to see what a book written by the author looks like when it's like raw, uncut. No one else has had their little fingers in the mix. Yeah. So I'm going to, I think I might give the author, I don't know if I'm going to give this book another shot, but I think I'm going to give the author another shot because, yeah, sometimes traditional publishing just doesn't it just form makes sometimes it makes the book a little formulaic, a little too formulaic, and then it just like affects certain things, and then I can't enjoy it. But yeah, there you go. And then I finished two more mangas. Last time I talked to you about Witch Hat Atelier #9. I finished that, and then I read this one right after it, Witch Hat Atelier #10. Now that's where my collection cuts off. I don't have any more copies of Witch Hat Atelier. I have to get more. I have a Barnes and Noble trip. Like, obviously, I need to go to Barnes and Noble and get some more. And I usually get like 2 or 3 volumes at a time. And here, I'll let you look at the cover of the one I recently read. So there was like a little bit of a lull in the story for this one, but it picked up again, and I'm like super excited again about the story. And I'm kind of reaching the end of this series. It's not a super long series, so yeah, we'll have more manga to read in 2026. I'm going to save. I don't think I'm going to start this or Yona of the Dawn, like pick back up on Yona of the Dawn or Witch Hat until 2026 starts, so I can like add those books to my 2026 goals after I finish them. Okay, those are all the books that I have completed in the months of November and December. And now I'm going to talk about what I am currently reading. So I am currently reading The Scum Villains Self-Saving System Volume 2. It looks like a manga. It is not. It is actually a light novel. And it's a sequel. I have highlighted book #1 in one of my past videos. And I like the cover of book #1 better than this one, but it's the same artist. And yeah, I just started this. I'm on page like 16. I'm at the point where I'm like reading one page a day because it's kind of a bit of a slow beginning. Um, but yeah, this is. Let me see if I can just very quickly tell you the premise. So this is kind of like a genre of Asian fantasy where it's like reincarnation. So the main character like dies immediately in the beginning of the book. And then they are reborn in the body of either someone from the distant past or someone from a video game or somebody from in this case it's like the a character from a web novel that the main character reads, and they're reborn in the body of the like baddest villain of a web novel that they read. And this villain has done has like all these crimes against them. They've been like really horrible to the main character, and this is supposed to be the villain in green, and then the main character is in red. And in the web novel, the villain gets like just completely all the justice, all the revenge gets taken out on the villain. Um and they die like a horrific death. So the main character is trying to not die a horrific death and survive in the body of the villain. And and the twist is that the villain and the main character um, fall in love with each other in this new reality. So yeah, the first book was hilarious, and it's a very very slow burn. Oh, and the author is Mo Shang Tong Shu. I have not. I didn't. I'm sorry. I didn't give the author for my other two mangas, but yeah. So it's a very slow burn, and there was like very very light, very 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 subtle romantic elements in the first book, which I actually liked because it's like I think it makes sense that in this situation, like why like you cannot rush into like a full blown insta lovey type of romance. Like it it has to make sense. It has to like not be contrived. So yeah, we're gonna see what happens in volume two. And I think there's only 3 or 4 volumes of this. Um yeah, I'm excited to kind of rediscover this world. And that's what I'm reading right now. I'm also reading um I'm getting back into another series. So I'm reading a book called Betrayer, and it's actually book 12 of the Foreigner series. I have talked about this author before. She's my favorite sci-fi author. Sci-fi. She also writes fantasy, but I think she's known more for her sci-fi. C.J. Cherry. So, and I'm re-listening to one of her audiobooks called Fated Trilogy or the Fated Sun Trilogy. But yeah, one of her long-standing series is the Foreigner series, and it's like a lot about alien psychology and like how humans interact with aliens and stuff like that. Um, like technically, this story is a human becomes like the ambassador for the human society, and he works in the alien society, and he has like pretty much embraced the aliens culture, and they live on, actually the humans are the aliens in this situation because they crash landed on the aliens planet. But as the reader, we are humans, so the natives of this planet feel like the aliens to us. So yeah, he's like very immersed in their culture and in their politics, and they're not really used to like a human being so connected to how their government and like culture works and stuff like that. But he's an ambassador, like he's like supposed to be the peacekeeper between the humans and the aliens. And yeah, like I love this series. I'm on book 12 and there's like 22 books. So I'm picking that back up. And let's see. I always just read those books slowly. I'm not in a rush to get through the series. I've just been enjoying it for like the past, mm, I want to say 7 years. I've been reading the Foreigner series, because I definitely started before my son was born and he's 6 now. So, yeah. And then I started reading this manga, which I have never read. It's called Old Boy, and it's kind of like a psych thriller slash gangster opera. And I saw this, well, I know about the film Old Boy, and it's been in my to watch list for like ever. And I did not know it was based off of a manga. So when I found the manga, I was like, oh, I have to read the manga and then I'll go watch the movie. Um, but I already knew about the story. I just when I was when I was buying my Kindle editions of Yona of the Dawn, it just popped up and I said, "Oh boy, is that the same Old Boy that I want to of the movie that I want to watch?" And when I realized it was the same storyline, I was so excited. So I'm just kind of like slowly checking that out and seeing what it's like. And I might not get past the first volume. I'd be like, okay, I'm good. But I think I'm still going to watch the movie. Okay, so that is all that I have. If you liked the video, then like the video and subscribe. I would love to have you here with me. Let me know if you've made any progress on your um, like seasonal stitches or just whatever you're working on. I'd love to hear from you. If you finished any really good books lately, if maybe you have read some of the books that I am talking about, that would be really cool to chat about in the comments. So yeah, um, thank you for being here and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye.